So another method for counting the number of ways that a set of objects can be counted is something called permutations. In reality, this is just an extension of the fundamental counting principle that we looked at in 3.1, but it actually adds a shortcut when we're dealing with specific sets of objects. So we need to go through a definition first. Is something called a factorial, which is the product of an integer, so product being multiply, integer being a whole number, no decimals, it must be positive, and all the integers below it down to 1. So the symbolism for it is the number with an exclamation mark, and it's not just an excited 4, it is 4 factorial. The definition of it, 4 factorial means 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and as is customary, we multiply that out, which would work out to 24. So likewise, 8 factorial would be 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and so on and so on. It shortens out the writing, especially when we get to bigger numbers. We don't have to write down that many blanks, and it gets used in a couple of situations. So for example, we have a daycare with a group of kids lining up to get a drink of water from the fountain, and I want to know the number of arrangements that 6 children can make. If we go and we do this with the fundamental counting principle, we would have 6 decisions to make, so we would need 6 blanks. And we count our choices. We have 6 children who could be in the first spot in line. We can't repeat children, so little Billy or little Janie could not line up in the first and second spot. So we have 5 who could line up in the second spot, 4, 3, 2, and 1 for the last spot. But as we can see, this is actually the definition of 6 factorial. And we have 2 ways of dealing with this. We could take the calculator and just go 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Or we could take a shortcut in the calculator, and every calculator is a little bit different. If you have your own handheld scientific calculator, you're looking for a button that says n factorial like that. It's likely a second function or a shift function on it, so you'll want to be looking just above the button. Some calculators, it is the actual button itself. But no matter what, to calculate that in this way, you would type in the 6, you'd enter the factorial function, however you do that on the calculator, and when you do that, you should get 720.